Hi, I'm Pastor Kimberly, and welcome to The Experience as we share a little bit today about helping others and what does that look like in our daily lives. In a world that we live in, it can be so crazy at times. Sometimes our heads are just spinning. We are pulled from one direction to another, and we're often overwhelmed with just trying to make everyone happy. And can we really make everyone happy? I mean, is that even a realistic kind of goal or something that we should strive for? Sometimes we feel like there's so many distractions, so many things to do, and so little time to get them all done. I know this is how I often feel, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that feeling. And that's kind of when I just want to share with some thoughts with you today about that. Have you ever felt like you just cannot get it all done? And that you're just always apologizing for feeling like you're behind, or that you feel like you're maybe letting somebody down? Let's take this a little bit further. Maybe you have felt, because of the busyness in your life and all of the distractions and all the ways that you're being pulled, that you really don't even have time to pay attention or to help others. I know I've been there. Sometimes I see a need and I don't even give it much thought because I'm just so busy that I figure I don't even have time to get stuff done that I need to do. How could I ever even have time to help someone else? And that can be a little bit of a frustrating thought. But I also don't think that's how we were created. I don't think that's how we were wired. We're not made to be in this selfish, inward thinking way of life. We are supposed to be thinking about others. We're supposed to be thinking about how we can help others, what we can do for others. And I feel like I want to help others. I'll be honest, and hopefully most of you that are joining us today also feel like you want to help others as well. But it's just hard. It's just hard with all of the demands that we have on our life. So how do we help others in the midst of the distractions of our life? How do we put others before ourselves in the midst of the craziness of the world that we live in? What I have found is that I have to train myself. I have to train myself despite all of the distractions of the world. I have to train my eyes to see. I have to train my ears to hear the needs of the people around me. There's a story in the Bible. Some of you may be familiar with this and some of you may not, and that's perfectly fine. I just want to share kind of an overview of a conversation between a man named Bartimaeus and Jesus. Bartimaeus came over to Jesus and Jesus asked him, "What do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you?" This question in and of itself is showing that Jesus was focusing on the need of someone else. He was focusing on the needs of Bartimaeus, not on his own needs. Never did he say, after he listened to Bartimaeus, "Well, now you owe me." He never said, "Well, I did this for you, so now I need you to do this for me." Instead, he listened. He listened. And Jesus said, "Go, because your faith has healed you." It was a healthy conversation with listening and interaction. We can learn a lot from that conversation. Whether you're a follower of Jesus Christ or not, we can learn a lot simply from the fact that Jesus was willing to listen. We learn the importance of being selfless and not losing sight of our mission, not losing sight of the task before us. We recognize the need that we have to be attentive to others, to be attentive to the people in our community, the people that we meet day in and day out. Maybe it's somebody at the grocery store that's struggling to pay for their groceries, or somebody who just needs help taking their groceries to the car. We have to remember that our help must go out to others, not just those who have something to offer to us, but to everyone. I've had the privilege over the past 10 or so years to participate in a lot of mission journeys, both in the United States and around the world. I've been to Africa, I've been to Guatemala and Puerto Rico, as well as South Carolina and Steubenville and Cleveland and a lot of different places. And I have seen people crying out for help. I have seen people crying out for love. We actually just returned with a team from Guatemala just a few weeks ago. But here's the thing. Helping doesn't always mean that you have to go on a mission journey. Helping doesn't always mean that you have to leave the comfort of your own community or the world that you are in every single day. Sometimes it's as simple as getting the mail for a neighbor, or picking up a gallon of milk for someone who maybe doesn't have transportation, or taking over a bowl of soup to someone who is dealing with an illness. Maybe shoveling the snow as we are in the midst of the winter, or driving someone to a medical appointment. Helping is part of who we are by nature. It's part of our DNA. It's how we're constructed. And so I ask you today, how are you helping? How are you being selfless in order to be able to help someone in need that may be right around the corner? There's always a way to help. Always a way to help. As I mentioned before, we have to train our eyes. We have to train our ears to be more attentive to those who are around us. Yes, I did say train. We train our eyes, we train our ears just the way we would train our body if we were gonna run a marathon or as we were preparing for any sport or any activity that we want to do. We have to be in constant training so that we don't miss what may be right before our very eyes. And I can tell you from personal experience that when we help others, the blessings that we receive are way more than what we could possibly imagine. And so I ask you again to just simply stop and think. Are you willing to be in training so that you can bless someone else and also receive those blessings from helping others for yourself?